Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know that I said in my last video that I'm gonna do a video about balance. I think that I will talk about balance here in this video, and there's so many thoughts that I have that I want to get out here to you guys, but it's kind of hard to like organize them all, and it comes to me and I just have to get it out. So on the topic of balance, like my previous video, and again, sorry for the non-stabilization of this video. I'm holding the camera as opposed to having it on a tripod, so you'll have to bear with me on that. So anyway, on the topic of balance, like I said, with time management in my previous video, I found it to be very helpful that I started actually managing my time so that I can actually physically in my mind make time for myself, as well as taking care of the needs of everyone else that depends on me. And that could be for you, it could be your spouse, your children, your friends, whatever encompasses your day. That's who needs you, that's who relies on you. So for me, it's my family, my father, my brother, let's say, my sister-in-law, my niece, my nephew, my friends, whatever may come up in my day with the people that I love and my friends. I want to be able to give them the best part of me, but the only way to be able to do that is to be fully taken care of myself and to be pouring from a full cup. So if that makes sense to you, manage your time accordingly and make time for yourself. Put it in your schedule. Put it in your schedule like anything else. Like you work, let's say 9 to 5, that is your work schedule. You make time for your appointments, you make time for this or that. You need to make time. If you cannot find it, you need to make time for yourself in your day, in those 8 hours, let's say, that you have, in order to be whole. That's the only way to be whole, is to put yourself first, to take care of your needs, and to go from there. So moving on from time management and trying to work that out however it works for you. Time management will not look the same for everybody. Neither will weight loss, neither will goals, neither will businesses, nothing. Every person is an individual, and every person it works differently for. But on a broad scale, overall, good nutrition, proper sleep, exercise, time management, mental health, all of these categories work together for one healthy individual. So now, once you get a hold of your time management and you could figure that out, then we can move on to balance. Now, this is a really tough one. So for me especially. So with balance, you have to find, okay, so let's say you are given a diet plan, and in this diet plan, you cannot have any bread, or you cannot, like the one that I've described to you that I follow, you cannot have any sweets, or whatever it may be, or you've decided that you're gonna have an exercise regimen, and it's going to be 1 or 2 hours a day, let's say, of working out, whatever works for you. Hold on one second. Sorry, this is like on the fly video and I'm thirsty, so I can't help it. You're gonna see the real thing. So let's say your schedule is to work out 2 hours a day, whatever it may be, and your nutrition is a certain way, and and you have to see your friends and do this and do that. Okay, so where balance comes in and where I have a hard time is being able to not get to the point where I am so restrictive on everything and, exactly regimented on everything that when the occasion comes, which it does in life, that you're going out with friends, or you're doing something out of your routine. You have an event to attend. You're going somewhere where they don't necessarily have exactly the things that you eat, or you're not able to work out that day. Balance is really finding the ability to be able to get through those events, enjoy them, and be able to pick up right where you left off the very next hour, the very next minute or whatever it may be. Balance is also finding your happy medium, your happy place when it comes to your nutrition. Let's say for me, because I'm on a weight loss journey. So for me to be able to find my balance when it comes to nutrition, I cannot personally say that I'm never going to, like, there are people who fast for, or do water fast for 30 days and they only drink water for 30 days and no food at all. I personally do not find that that works for me. Again, that may work for you. I don't know. I am not giving you nutritional advice. You should always consult with your doctor, with your bodily needs, with whatever, find whatever makes you function healthily, and it's for it to be long-term and sustainable for you to be able to do for the rest of your life. So when I am 70 years old, if I make it to that age, will I be able to do water fast for 30 days and not drink and not eat anything? Most likely not. If at my age I'm saying it doesn't work for me, that's not going to be a long-term, a sustainable thing for me. Does it work in the short term? I think anything can work in the short term because again, it's short term, but I'm not looking for short-term, fast, rapid results. I have done everything under the sun as far as like weight loss goes. I've never used diet pills. I've never had weight loss surgery. I've never done anything like that. But as far as like exercise and nutrition goes and diets, I have tried different diets and I've explored different avenues. And what I found is when I chose a diet that was long-term and sustainable, I had the most success. So that's where I find my balance. Now, another thing in the category of nutrition with balance that I can tell you is, for me personally, my family and, specifically my dad, he tends to worry a lot about me. He raised me since I was young. My mother passed away when I was very young, and he raised me, and he's very, very concerned about my weight and my health, as a parent is. However, there is a sort of pressure that's then put on me because if I chose, let's say, to have a piece of dark chocolate, or if I wanted to get a coffee, that doesn't mean that I'm off track. That means that I am wanting something in that moment, and I am aware of the choices that I'm making 7 days a week, with every meal. And if I choose to have a serving size of dark chocolate or a coffee or whatever it may be that's not necessarily on my plan, that I can still be successful, and it's not necessarily a signal that something is wrong. But when a parent sees their child doing things like that, it might signal to them like something is definitely wrong. So there's an added pressure for me to not even do anything like that. So for me, finding balance is also being able to communicate with those around me that worry about me the most, that I'm okay and that I have it under control. So if I can give you an example, maybe you can kind of try to understand what I go through. Is like, let's just take it to the extreme and say that I was a drug addict, and I have a parent that is a parent of a former drug addict, let's say, and I'm in recovery and I have not touched drugs in X amount of years. So as a drug addict, yes, if I started to have a little bit of whatever it may be that I was addicted to, then of course that is a definite signal to the parent, like, things are going bad because this person used to be sober and now they're having, let's say they're smoking marijuana or whatever it may be, that's setting that parent's signal off, like, so my child is in danger. When it comes to food, there's a difference. So you do need food in order to function and, just be healthy in general. So it is a very fine line when it comes to weight when it comes to weight issues and when it comes to eating issues, that it can seem like someone who's overweight and needs to lose weight, if they are having a piece of chocolate or if they wanted a piece of bread that day, that they have now gone off the deep end, which really is what happens in my life. So if I do have that piece of bread, or if I had anything that looks to an outside person that I am not on my plan, that sends these signals off. Everyone is tense, and in turn I'm very tense, and I feel as though I cannot be normal or functioning normally when I have so many eyes watching me and so many people concerned about my health. So that's another thing that I'm trying to find balance with: my own eating habits and the way that I look at my eating habits and the way that I punish myself if I even crave something sweet, or if I even crave to eat a piece of bread or anything, or have something crunchy. I actually will not allow myself to do it, or not allow myself to eat it for months and months on end, and then all of a sudden want to eat a whole bag of something, and that's not healthy either. So I'm trying to find my balance. Like, if I wanted a spoon of white rice with my meal, I'm going to have the spoon of white rice with my meal and not think twice about it, because I have to step out of my comfort zone in that way and be able to live in a world where white rice exists, and in a world where I might want a piece of bread one day or a piece of chocolate one day, and I'm normal and I'm human, and things happen and cravings happen. So am I able to long-term sustain the diet plan that I'm on? Yes, absolutely I can. Does it allow for does the plan allow for sweets and things like that? Yes. So my diet is, if you wanted a dessert or anything, that you would primarily eat fruit. But there are many ways to go about eating fruit, and there are many ways to get creative with fruit. And I've done that. I've frozen fruit. I've taken fruit and frozen it and blended it to make kind of like a mock ice cream, or whatever it may be, because you are able to take ingredients that are good for you and turn them into things that you are craving. So that's where your own creativity comes in, looking up recipes and finding healthy alternatives. So that really is part of balance as well. And also taking off the pressure from yourself, from other people's opinions and other people's, even when a doctor gives you a diet plan, you have to maneuver that diet plan and that exercise routine to what works for you. So if let's say you have a trainer, if your trainer wants you to do 100 squats, and your knees and your knees are hurting, or your hips are hurting, or whatever it may be, you do need to modify those exercises so that they could work for you. That doesn't mean you can't exercise at all. Like recently I did an event, I did like an exercise event where it was like 3 different stations and 3 different kinds of exercise, and within those stations you had to do, let's say, burpees and squat jumps and all this other stuff. So I did still do the event, and I did still do like similar movements to hit similar muscles, but I wasn't necessarily doing a burpee or jumping up and down in the air, because I know that right now my knees are bothering me, or my weight is a little bit too much for me to want to do those exercises safely. So does that mean that I can sit the whole thing out and not do it at all, and just give in to the excuse that, oh, my knees are hurting and I'm too heavy and this, that, and the other? No, because the more you get up and the more you do, the better you feel. And sometimes it really sucks. Like, the pain is there. The pain doesn't go away. Like for me, even sometimes sitting, my back and my feet kill me. But does that mean I have to just lay down and never do anything again? I can't. So the same if I lay down and do nothing, that's literally just going to add to all the problems that I have, that are causing me to have the pain in my body. It's the weight. I need to get the weight off, and that's where I find balance in exercise. So I can't overexert myself, because then I won't be able to come back and show up the next day, but I still did what I can today. Does that make sense? So find your balance with everything in life. Like, if you're in a relationship with someone new and it's exciting, we all know there's a honeymoon phase of a relationship, and you want to spend all your time with this particular person, and you're so happy and you're blissful and blah, blah, blah. But then life sets in, like life sets in after that blissful phase, and you have to be able to continuously live long-term sustainable live in a long-term sustainable way, so that your relationships can last because there's balance in them. Your exercise routine can last because there's balance. Your work life and your work versus home life is balanced, and you're not at work, 16 hours a day and not able to enjoy your life. So balance comes in every form, in relationships, in food, in exercise, in goals, in working hard. Working hard is great, but there's also the other side of working hard, which is resting, and that's part of balance too. So when I say balance, I mean balance of everything in life. Because have you ever noticed, if you have pain in your body, like take a look at your body and picture that your body is your whole life, like your whole life. So let's use your body as an example to represent your life. So if you ever notice, and I'm sure you can relate to this, when one part of your body hurts, whether that's you have a toothache, whether you have a backache, whether you have cramps, whether any injury to your body, a burn or anything, everything then is thrown off balance. Like when you're sick, even like if you have a cold or runny nose or stuffy nose, everything else is thrown off balance. The way you perform, the way you sleep, the way you function, whether you want to talk to your friends or not, whether you can go to work, the amount of things you can do, what you can eat, what you can taste. Everything changes when one thing is off balance. And that's exactly your body, let's say the representation of your life. So when one thing is off balance, everything takes a hit. So if you're not balanced within yourself as an individual with whatever it is that you want to achieve, and with whatever it is that your body, your mind, your soul needs, you will find that there will be imbalances in other parts of your life, your relationships, your family life, your friends, your eating habits, your exercise habits, and the list continues. This is why balance is so important. This is why I'm finding balance in my own life, so that I can be able to perfect my own routine, my own life, the way that I look at things, the way that I look at myself, the way that I look at food, and my relationship with food and myself. The most important relationship that you'll ever have is the one with yourself. So if you're completely in balance with yourself, the other outside factors that come into play will have a more minimal effect on you, as opposed to if everything's off balance, then everything else seems to hit harder than it normally does. I hope that you can relate to this. I hope that it helps you. This is something that I'm finding in my life. I'm trying to find my own balance in relation to my weight loss goals, but also in relation to my life, and being able to deal with the changing things in my life and the changing people in my life, and how to best be able to get the most out of life and the most out of friends and family and loved ones, and find that proper balance within myself, to be able to find that balance within the relationships that I do have. And it's so important for mental health. It's so important for physical health. It's so important for your emotional health, literally everything. It's so important to find that balance. So I hope you find your balance. And I'm going to bring you that next video that I talked about, of recognizing the first signs of, your own downward spiral. I'll talk about the signs of my downward spiral. Now, looking back at it, you know, of course, everything is 2020 when you look back. So it's easy to talk about it now that I've, you know, gotten past it, and to be able to equip myself basically for any future obstacles and things that come my way, to be more prepared to recognize those first signs and not take them at like small little alerts, but major alarms basically. So that's the video, and I'm also going to bring you a video on pain, and I'll elaborate on that after the next video. I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your likes, your comments, your shares, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye.